I dig it. Hmm. Okay, gosh, there's so many questions. Time cycles. This is something that we're seeing echoes of things in our society that seems like we should have learned them in the past, but now we're re-experiencing them again. You've already talked about the idea of past lives. Could you talk about does human culture experience time cycles in some way?
Yes, yes. Now, you might experience that linearly, but that's just because you are in a realm where space and time are really maximized in particular ways. So you can have the experience of the hero's journey, which is a process of linear unfoldment for the most part. To us, in terms of its geometry, it is a spiral in nature, the hero's journey, and that upward momentum of evolution. Recognize that the past and the future exist right here, right now, because all things exist right here, right now. There's nowhere else for anything to be because there's only one moment. The only thing that separates your experience of the past, the future, and the present are the vibrational differences that make up the unique properties of space and time relevant to what you call the past, the future, and the present. But without those frequencies of space, time creating the sense of separation, you would experience the present, past, and future happening simultaneously. That's how we see these things. So it's not that the past creates the present. It's not that the future creates the present. The present moment creates the present, and the present moment also creates the versions of the past you're connecting to and the versions of the future that you're connecting to. So through being in the present moment, you organize your relationships to past and future in a way that is based on whatever state of being you're in. And that state of being represents how you're thinking, how you're acting, how you're feeling. So based on those things, you get to organize the versions of past and future that you connect with. Now, your species is going through its own evolutionary process, and the civilizations of the past and the civilizations of the future are also going through their own evolutionary processes as well. And at certain points in your here and now journey, you will be going through a theme, a challenge, an experience that vibrationally parallels the challenges or experiences that are connected to the past civilizations and the challenges and the experience that are connected to future civilizations, future realities. And when that vibrational paralleling or resonance occurs, it can translate in your here and now as processing the karma of the past, overcoming the challenges of the past. But really what you're dealing with are modern challenges unique to your civilization that are vibrationally similar or are vibrationally resonant to the challenges and themes of the past. And in that way, when you choose to overcome those challenges with love, with appreciation, with your true power, because the past and the future and the present all exist at once, that information that you use to overcome your own unique challenges is then broadcasted to the past. So those past civilizations can then draw upon what you are cultivating to overcome their challenges. And in a sense, you create the effect of actually shifting the past. And that doesn't mean you're changing the objective past, because there's truly no objective past. You create your version of the past, as we have said, through your vibration in the here and now. But to you, that may look like the actual storyline of your past changing. And many of you have experienced this through what is known as the Mandela effect. That's a symptom of this process.
Interesting. And the Mandela effect is where different parts of the population remember significant events differently.
Exactly. They have vibrationally tuned themselves to different frequencies of the past through having made significant vibrational changes in the present.
Cool. Okay. So there's an episode of The Simpsons where Homer Simpson says, that sounds like a problem for future Homer. Could we just let our future selves deal with all this so that we don't have to?
Remember, you become that future self every second. You are in the process of becoming that. So at some point, you'll have to deal with it in the here and now. That does not mean the entire burden rests on your shoulders. Because when you deal with these things in the here and now from a positive state, as we have said, the here and now creates your experience of the future. That's not just the instant future. In other words, a second into the future. That represents levels of the future that are totally unknown to many of you. Years, decades, generations you are coding for in the here and now. And when you choose to be in that positive state and to face your challenges with love, with support, with power, then the idea is you are automatically connecting to versions of the future where those challenges have already been transformed. And your future self then begins to guide you as you experience yourself in the present moment. So you overcome those challenges with greater levels of ease and efficacy and support. And in that way, you and the future self can work like a team. At a certain point, should you cultivate that relationship, it will become as clear to you as your relationships with physical people in your experience. That's how solid that link can get, where you form a very deep communication stream between yourself and the future self you're connecting to. And it allows for you to work as a co-creative team. And that unlocks for you, in terms of your experience, many different types of realities that you would classify as miraculous.
Ooh, this is exciting stuff. This is good stuff.
Yes, yes. This is why we share it, and we are deeply appreciative of you receiving it in the way that you are.
I have one more question, and I also want to leave time for you if there's anything you want to share.
All right.
The question is, I'm a big fan of using Dreamtime and adventuring in Dreamtime and using it to get information. Do you have any suggestions on a good way to use Dreamtime?
There are many different ways you can explore it. Just as you can do many things in your physical world that are beneficial to you, the same is the case on the dream world, because the dream world, for the most part, is what you call the astral realm, which is, in a sense, a watery reflection of the physical world, but it is also a watery reflection of the spirit realm. It's sort of in the middle. So when you are in the astral realm, when you are lucid in your dreams, the idea is that you are capable of honing certain skills that you are working on honing in the physical reality. You can also do what you call healing work in that astral realm that will have a ripple effect into the physical body. You can also receive education. You can receive teachings and messages from the beings of the astral realm. And you can also explore. You can see other dimensions. You can see other worlds. You can see other lifetimes. So you can use it as a form of adventure. It's really up to you how you choose to use it. The key here is to remember what we have said. The astral realm is like water. And as you know, water can create optical illusions. So be mindful that you do not interpret things on that astral realm too literally. It is a realm of symbolism, living symbols, much like what we speak. So whatever you perceive, no matter how positive, no matter how negative, no matter how neutral, see the experience as a symbol. Interpret it in as many ways as you can, and select the meaning that to you really resonates with your original spirit, your heart, your true self. And that's how you can use the experiences in the astral realm in a practical, positive way that is integrated with your physical reality instead of discordant to it. There are many ways you can accelerate your energy before bed without overly stimulating your nervous system. So that way, what you call your awareness can remain active as you drift into sleep. Just as you have the ability through gazing meditations to pick a singular point of focus and to also use your peripheral vision to take in the surrounding visual stimuli, you can do the same thing with a point on the body. In particular, what you call your mid-eyebrow point or even your third eye point. And if you wish, the crown chakra, although that one's a little more powerful, so perhaps it would be beneficial to work up to that. You can place your attention onto one of these points and keep the attention gentle. We're not talking about focus. We're talking about gentle attention, just as you would watch a sunset, just as you would watch or listen to a waterfall, that type of attention. And the idea is, as you are breathing into the point, let yourself just go into a deeper state of relaxation. And eventually you will become so relaxed, you will begin to drift into sleep. Some sleeping postures may be more supportive for this than others. However, we understand many of you are very dedicated to certain sleeping postures. So in the beginning, that may be a little challenging, but you can work up to that. It doesn't matter in the beginning which posture you're in. Use whatever posture will assist you in going to sleep. And through cultivating a gentle awareness of that point, even though you may drift into sleep, your energetic muscle memory will recall having paid attention to that point. And even though you drift off, a dimension of yourself will say, oh yeah, wait a minute, I'm paying attention to that. And that will wake you up in the dream. So intention setting before bed, visualizing before bed, journaling before bed about what you prefer to explore and experience on that astral level is of the utmost importance. So that way you can have a stronger sense of navigation when you become lucid in that realm. And when you become lucid in that realm, it may be very surprising at first. However, with repetition, you'll become more used to it. And you'll be able to, in a sense, go with the flow whilst on that realm, rather than being startled and waking yourself up.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yes, you're very welcome. We have one thing we would prefer to share at this time.
Please.
For your world. Your species, as many of you know, is in contact with extraterrestrial beings. Many of you have seen craft in the skies. Some of you have seen this personally. Some of you have seen this through video footage. Some of these things are terrestrial, they are of your world. Some of them are not. Right now, your species is being visited by different hybrid beings, such as myself. We are extra-dimensional in nature. We occupy a form of density that you would call a quasi-physical density, which means we have form, we have bodies, but they're not really solid like yours. We are, in that sense, more astral in nature. The hybrids that are making contact with you are more solid, they're more physical, but they also possess the abilities and technologies that enable them to shift between the different frequencies of dimensionality. So in a sense, they can blip in and blip out at will. They can conceal themselves, or they can make themselves very well known. What determines the rate of contact is your own vibrational alignment and is your own open-heartedness, because that is truly the invitation for contact. That's how these beings determine whether or not on a personal or collective level you are ready for open contact. The reason we are sharing this is because as you get closer to open contact, there may be many stories, many rumors, many narratives that are discussed and described. And you have the ability to determine your relationship to contact, your narrative, your story about what that process means for you. And this will allow for you to experience your preferred version of contact with some of these beings. You get to write that script. It's not pre-written. Because in a sense, nothing is pre-written, not in an objective sense. Things may be selected pre-incarnation that represents the themes you have chosen to explore. However, you get to determine how you explore those themes, and you do that through the meanings, the definitions, and the relationships that you create while exploring those themes. You are in control of that. That is a part of your autonomy. And you're doing it all the time. Every interaction you have is based upon the symbolic meaning you either consciously or unconsciously impose upon it. So this phenomenon is no different. And any theme that your species goes through is no different. You get to impose the meaning, and that will determine your relationship to that thing. In other words, you get to determine the energetic quality of the effect produced through that experience. That is you. You are a thermostat in that sense. You get to adjust the settings. You don't have to be a thermometer, which is just a metaphor for being reactive unconsciously to things that emerge. So learn how, in your own exciting ways, to adjust your own thermostat settings, to adjust your states of being. You do that through your meanings, and ultimately you do it through the inner and outer actions that represent those meanings that you create. We thank you sincerely for your questions and for allowing us to share that message with your world.
Thanks so much. Thanks for joining us, and we can end there and invite Tyler back.
All right. Our unconditional love and appreciation to each and every single member of your human family and planet. Good day.
Good day.